No.
Your first one.
Okay. On January 1st, 1776, the Continental Army was reorganized in accordance with a congressional resolution which placed American forces under George Washington's control. On that New Year's Day, the Continental Army was laying siege to Boston, which had been taken over by the British Army. Washington ordered the Grand Union flag hoisted above his base at Prospect Hill. It had 13 alternate red and white stripes and the British Union Jack in the upper left-hand corner.
In May of 1776, Betsy Ross reported that she sewed the first American flag, although this is disputed by many historians. On June 14, 1777, in order to establish an official flag for the new nation, the Continental Congress passed the First Flag Act, resolved that the flag of the United States be made of 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union be 13 stars, while in a blue field representing a new constellation.
Francis Hopkinson of New Jersey, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, signed the 1777 flag while he was the chairman of the Continental Navy Board's Middle Department, sometime between his appointment to that position in November of 1776 and the time that the flag resolution was adopted in June 1777. This contradicts the Betty Ross legend, which suggests that she sewed the first Stars and Stripes flag by request of the government in the spring of 1776. Hopkinson was the only person to have made such a claim during his own lifetime when he sent a bill to Congress for his work. He asked for a quarter cask of the public wine as payment initially. The payment was not made. However, because it was determined he had already received a salary as a member of Congress, and he was not the only person to have contributed to the design.
Between 1777 and 1960, Congress passed several acts that changed the shape, design, and arrangement of the flag and allowed our additional stars and stripes to be added to reflect the admission of each new state. In the Act of January 13, 1794, provided for 15 stripes and 15 stars after May 1795. Act of April 4, 1818, provided for 13 stripes and 1 star for each state, to be added to the flag of the 4th of July following the admission of each new state, signed by President Monroe. In Executive Order of President Taft, dated June 24, 1912, established proportions of the flag and provided for arrangements of the stars in 6 horizontal rows of 8 each. A single point of each star to be upward. Executive Order of Presidential Eisenhower, dated January 3, 1959, provided for the arrangement of the stars in 7 rows of 7 stars each, staggered horizontally and vertically. Executive Order of President Eisenhower, dated August 21, 1959, provided for the arrangement of the stars in 9 rows of stars staggered horizontally and 11 rows of stars staggered vertically.
Today the flag consists of 13 horizontal stripes, 7 red alternating with 6 white. The stripes represent the original 13 colonies. The stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, white symbolizes purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice.
Please salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Gentleman by the name of Francis Scott Key, a lawyer.
Give him the microphone.
A lawyer and a poet and a bit of a diplomat, went aboard a British frigate just outside of Baltimore Harbor in September of 1814. He was there to negotiate the exchange of prisoners between the USA and Great Britain during the War of 1812. He was not allowed to leave that night after dining with the commandant and the admiral, because he had seen the strength of the British and had a pretty good idea of what they were going to do. So helpless, Francis Scott Key stood at the railing as the sun went down and watched the bombardment begin on Fort McHenry in the mouth of Baltimore Harbor. As the sun left, he could see a very, very large Stars and Stripes flying over Fort McHenry. In the morning, having stood there at the railing all night, as the dawn broke, there, above Fort McHenry, was the Stars and Stripes.
Jim.
Francis Scott Key wrote a poem. It actually has 4 verses. In 1931, President Hoover declared it and adopted it as our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. The flag that flew over Fort McHenry is now in the Smithsonian. A very large flag, a very tattered flag, with cannonball holes in it, singes from the rockets that burst near it. But it stood and it flew. No other flag in this country or in this world shows as much as the flag of the United States of America. I don't think there's one among us that can identify the U.S. flag, but how many other countries can you identify their flag? Ask those people. How many of them can identify their own flag or the flag of their neighboring country? But then point out the Stars and Stripes. Oh, that's the flag of the United States of America. That flag stands for freedom. That flag stands for justice. It has flown over many a battlefield. It has flown over many a young man's coffin as he returned home from the battle. We respect it, we honor it. It gets raised at sunrise and lowered at sunset. After nature takes its toll upon this beautiful flag, we have a special way of retiring it. We don't throw it away. We don't cut it up and throw it in the garbage. We have one particular way to take care of our flag. You'll help me? This flag has flown gallantly, but as you can see, it's tattered and it's worn. Now we lay it to rest.
Aiden, pick the flag up.
Megan.
this time you are all excused. I will stay with the fire to make sure the flag is completely consumed. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Can I say something really quick? My dad was born in Canada. He's a Canadian. He moved here in '51, and when he was going to Mesa High School, he had a teacher, a history teacher, that gave him a hard time, as they could in the '60s, about what he thought about someone moving to this country and not knowing history. At that time, my dad became a historian on American history, and as you can see, he's very patriotic about this country and proud to be an American. I just want you to know that as I'm listening to him, he didn't study or read about this. He knows this from his heart because he's studied it his whole life. So that's a tribute to him and his commitment to becoming an American when he moved here.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Let's make it